So good morning to all. So I'm not Andrea. Andrea will follow me after my presentation. It's a real pleasure to be here, to have this opportunity to talk to you. I would like to thank all the hosts for organizing of this nice event. I'm here not just on behalf of Czech Handball Federation, but I'm here especially here because of the project, Erasmus project, which we are running together with 6 countries. Very briefly introducing of me, I work as a General Secretary of Czech Handball Federation for the last 2 years, and my role is take care of development of handball in Czech Republic, and now I am also part of this group to develop handball and floorball in 6 countries covering this project. When I was packing my suitcase on Sunday afternoon, I was switched on TV and I could see 2 live broadcasts from Riga. The first one, the football match of European Championship qualification, and the second one was basketball match where we played here in Riga too. So it's nice to see these sports live in TV, but you know what we see is only 10 or 20%. The rest of 80% is hidden or below under the water. That's what we don't see, and this is what we try to focus on, because this is our role to analyze and define what we can do, how to promote our sports generally. My presentation is firstly based on collection of materials which we received from these 6 countries, 3 Baltic countries, Czech Republic, Poland and Finland. So it's a nice example how to monitor and how to present results of that. So I'm apologizing a little bit for my presentation because it will be summarize some of the numbers, which is a little bit boring, and you could see a lot of numbers here in the previous presentations. But Andrea will follow me to present to what we do concretely in our country and what we try to do out of what we have available, talking about the sources we have and how to promote our sport in our country. So this is the required result of our doing. I would like to see these pictures, you know, as much as possible. But the way to this is pretty hard, because it's not just about to say numbers, and it's not just about to make some analysis and to describe the problem, but it's really about to start to do the things regularly. And I try to name the keywords which are the output from our collection work, and these words you can see placed on the handball ball. And this is exactly what we need to define and what we need to work with. And so I will move to the next page, where I tried to place these keywords into the SWOT analysis, so you can see what are our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. It's clear that we can say that sport is a fashionable tool or instrument, but it's much more clear that we have to invest much more to the development of this product, because it's about youth and development of the youth, and it's not about presenting just results of the sport. Community team, this is what is really taking us together, and I think handball and also floorball, these 2 sports are the great examples of how team can help us as a society, because you can work with different personalities, you can work with different people, with different somatotypes, and you can work with these people to make a great results, because everybody has his very specific position within the team. I can talk a lot about the current situation in terms of funding of our sports in Czech Republic specifically, but I think it's very, very similar in other countries, because what we miss a lot is much higher spending on sports, and especially in Czech Republic we are in a situation that these rules are changing based on the government we have available in the moment. There is no fixed ratio of money which are going to the sport, and it's always part of the campaign of politicians how to support things. But it's not exactly what we need. I'm pretty sure that the way out of this is to have a fixed conditions. Doesn't matter what's the level of economy and what's the level of political situation in the respective countries. Infrastructure, it's a great topic for our countries generally, I would say, and especially for Czech Republic too. This is what we face on daily basis with this problem, because infrastructure for making sport in our country is very old, and there are no big investments, so we are very limited with infrastructure available. Talking about threats, as I mentioned, government funding, priority settings, this is exactly what we need. Doesn't matter what's the situation. And negative trends in life habits, which was already described in the previous presentations, this is what we have to fight with. I'm prepared some winners podium, but in fact it's not a winners podium. It's a podium of losers, because I would like to use numbers which I mentioned at the presentation. So you can see, for example, number of overweight people and people with obesity in Czech Republic. It's very similar in the other countries in this region. Poland as an example of the fastest growth of overweight and obesity children in European Union. So every fifth children practically is overweighted and with obesity. And the biggest number of regularly drunk children in Europe, which is horrible to say, but this is the current situation in Czech Republic, that we have every fourth children in age of 15 years drink regularly every week. So this is not a winner's podium, this is the current situation. We have to try to change very quickly. And from the other side, what is needed in terms of financing, just to compare the current situation between our countries and Western countries, you can see the money spending going to the sport compared to Western and North Europe countries in lottery. So there is a ratio 3 times more in Western countries, and also money coming from public financing. If we take the number of amount of money going from the government to support sport generally, you can see that in Czech Republic, for instance, we have 15 euro per inhabitant, compared to France, which is 10 times more, and Great Britain 5 times more. So this is exactly where we are standing in this moment and what we have to change. What is also known, and this is our argument to persuade people from government and from politicians, that its investment from public sources generates 3 times more back to the government's budget, talking about generating GDP, and also investing in overweight people. Prevention saves afterwards back 2.5 euros, so 2 times more. In fact, we pay much less money for much more healthy people later. This is another comparison of how many people in our countries in our project practicing regular sports. So you can see that there is pretty big gap between the top 3, top 4 countries and the 2 Baltic countries. And what is interesting is to measure these numbers with never exercise or never playing sport kids, children, where you can see the big gap between Poland and other countries and Finland, where you can which means that in Finland there is much more kids and children who play sport, not regularly but do something. Just very briefly about what is our position in Czech Republic, how we try to work with what we have available. We started a couple of years ago pretty successful competitions how to attract our kids in our schools. So we have school league, we have pupils league, depends on the age of children. And we also started this year one project together with ministry and with other collective team sports under the name 1 more hour of physical activity per week. It's just 1 hour, which is nothing, which is not enough for sure. But once we have only 3 hours or 4 hours per week done by law of physical activity, and we know exactly how it works, we tried to change a little bit understanding of this problem and transfer it into this project, which is running from September this year, because we talk to the all team sports as we think that we have the same problem. So we try to not compete internally, team sport between each other, but to merge our sources and to prepare methodology for all team sports and trying to add this 1 hour more into the basic schools. And this is how we try to change also our position within handball in Czech Republic. We started last year with a new project covering all Czech Republic into 13 regions. And we try to link all clubs we have available. In this time we have in Czech Republic about 170 clubs playing handball, and so we selected all handball clubs who are working with youth and try to link these clubs with schools which are nearby in this region with these clubs. And directly we support trainers in these clubs from our federation. So in fact they are our employees, so we pay about 20 trainers countrywide, providing support in every region to generate more players, to be trainers, coaches for the clubs who are nearby within these regions, and to help them to organize competitions. One part of our project was also to summarize answers from questionnaires we did in 4 countries, and we received good background from 200 from 200 responders, and this is the basic message coming from these results, which says that more than 60% children are with very average physical fitness level. That we work normally within the teams with 75% overweight kids. This is the current situation. So we have to work with that. It's not a surprise because it's a normal situation. And important is that there is a willingness to work with this group of people. Because it's a standard situation, so we have to find a way how to keep them and how to develop them in this group of children. Lack of methodology how to work with this group of people is one of our required output, and this is what we have to prepare and what we will deliver after our project together with Floorball. So one of our output will be methodology how to work with these children and this group of people, also available for you. Parents, one of the key decision makers if we are talking about how to keep kids with sport and how to prevent losing children playing sports. So this is another question and should be answered in our handbook, how to involve parents into the project, how to involve parents into keeping children doing sport. There was a clear signal that there is a demand to present good samples from all countries involved to see what we can do in respective countries. Well, and this is the required output. I just wrote down the basic content of this publication. We already are pretty close to be ready with publication, and it contains about 120 pages of text and drawings and examples how to work with this group of children. So this is what will be very soon ready also for you. And that's it. That's my part, and I will ask Andrea to follow me with some best example of working in the region. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Applause for Radek Bendl, and welcome Andrea Reginsko.